Liverpool fan in Japan.
Coming up, Fantasy Football Masterclass or Disaster Class with Miyazaki Mansai. Ben White. How does Ben White score so often? Is it because he marauds down as a right back, get involved in play, gets bonus points? 52% of people believe in good evenings plans for Ollie Watkins. So one name stands out straight away from the list. It's obviously Robbie Williams. Can be a man on fire, can miss a bundle with a banjo, and many strings on that banjo, and he'll still miss it. And Richarlison definitely doesn't get any extra points for that pecking pigeon pose thing, so yeah, he's out. And Sterling, nah. Hello YouTube, Liverpool fan in Japan here, the Miyazaki man, signing after a fantastic start to pre-season. 3 wins out of 3, beating Real Betis, starting us off before we go head to head with Arsenal scoring 2 open play goals with sublime efficiency and passing routes, before absolutely stunning Man United with a 3-0 victory, which is sure to have a psychological blow to their preparations, because you never want to lose your rivals even in pre-season, so haha, 1-0 to the shiny one. But yes, we've managed to play so well, even in consideration that look who has been left out, who hasn't arrived back in time to play any of those fixtures. You're talking Alisson Becker, potentially the world's best goalkeeper even today. Probably up for debate alongside Thibaut Courtois or someone, right? And then Trent Alexander-Arnold, who redefined the right back position and gives us the world of options, an absolute plethora of ability to attack the pitch at any given moment from anywhere. And he'll be competing with Connor Bradley, who's deputised admirably in pre-season, bombed up and down as a traditional right back, and links up well with Mo Salah as well. So it'd be really interesting if we can incorporate Connor Bradley and Trent into the same team, or even on rotation against particular opposition. And this is what Rafa Benitez used to do as well, picking personnel for a particular game to meet a particular function. And then our Captain Fantastic, Virgil van Dijk, Big Verge, VVD. I almost said RVD there, ECW, 5-star frog splash, ECW. Love my wrestling. I digress a little bit. Van Dijk into that back line alongside Jarrell Quansah, alongside Ibu Konate, alongside Joe Gomez, Sepp van den Berg, the Dutch connection. We can't wait to see it in action as well. Yeah, he's instant first name on the team sheet, right? And then Robertson, who was around, is carrying around that niggling injury as well. Didn't participate in any of the games, but he'll be right thereabouts as a first choice left back because he's already established that relationship with Virgil van Dijk. And even though it's a Japanese meme and a trope, the power of friendship is about building connections, building relationships. It's what money can't buy. It's actually really true, you know. People now understand that Jurgen Klopp has moulded this group of players behind the scenes to be a family, to have that rapport and support and arm over the shoulders, and a bond and link between them to understand what each player prefers. Short to the left foot, short to the right foot, with backspin, with pace. These are the kind of things you can't teach. You have to work it out in trainings, understand the person, understand the player. And it's those little margins and the little intrinsic movements from muscle memory that really make the difference, because it's a split second that can determine a game. And then when you're talking about relationships, it helps that they also are international teammates, right? So Cody Gakpo on the left wing could potentially be a starting left winger, but both our left wingers are back. Lucho Diaz sporting that kind of grey silver ash hair. I saw them in the Liverpool official video being put through their paces today. Lucho Diaz and Gakpo on the left. And Darwin Nunez, a thoroughbred, a fire horse up front. The new divine ponytail, Roberto Baggio in the making. No, he's not quite Roberto Baggio, different players, intelligent player. Raw physical specimen, kind of don't compute together. However, gotta believe in our Darwin. You'll believe in Nunez and good things will happen. So you're talking about a very successful preseason, 3 wins out of 3 wins, and doing one over on your rivals, Arsenal and Real Betis, because Man United aren't in our league. No, I jest. But yeah, we did it without our starting goalkeeper, our best centre-back, our Scottish Braveheart probably starting left-back as well, our world-class right-back, both our starting left wingers and our centre-forward. We did it without these guys, and we look fantastic doing it. I mean, they got to work their arse off to get back into that team ahead of Connor Bradley, ahead of Kostas Tsimikas. Van Dijk probably goes in ahead of Sepp van den Berg in all honesty. But who will lay claim to the left wing throne? Will it be Diogo Jota, Cody Gakpo, Lucho Diaz, even Nunez as a stake for left wing position? And then Harvey Elliott is wanting to cement that 10 position playmaking position for his own, but Dominic Szoboszlai has something to say about that, as does Alexis McAllister. Although I anticipate it'll be Alexis McAllister rivaling Gravenberch, and probably Bobby Clark and Troy Noni as well. It'll be Szoboszlai and Elliott in the 10 position. But potentially Gravenberch and McAllister vying for that position, and then Mo Salah on the right hand side, which would be interesting. Who's the understudy for Mo Salah? Will be Ben Doak, Harvey Elliott, Dominic Szoboszlai. A lot of players can play there as well. And Fabio Carvalho has done his chances no harm as well, but I think he's still behind Gakpo and Diaz in the pecking order. And you would imagine that Nunez and Jota will fight out in the straight shoot up front. But Jota is also an absolute machine and a menace and a weapon off the bench, so there's that factor too. And then the base of the midfield, obviously Wataru Man Mountain, Endo battling with Bajcetic, McAllister in the deep role. Curtis Jones has something to say about that. Curtis Jones could play in any position, to be honest. So our squad is looking very, very healthy. And speaking of picking a healthy squad, let's do fantasy football, right? This video is going to be about fantasy football. Join the fantasy football LFIJ league that I set up. Code in the screen and in the description below, because I'll be giving away quality prizes. I love me some kit. So I haven't quite decided yet, but I will be giving away some kits to the winner, as well as goodies from Japan, premium Ghana. And if I can find some spare ones of these or any other Liverpool merch in Japan as well, I'll send it your way. Winner takes all. But this one's mine, because Kitty-chan's also fine. Love the Kitty. Okay, so we're going to go straight into fantasy football. I finished second like 3 years in a row in the work one, in my own league, in my friend's league. But we're talking about my league, and I'm going to go and pick my team now and hold on to it, at least provisionally, until I change my mind again. But just before we do, got to get me some kit. So this menacing looking orange and green tape thing. It's a bit of a bigger package, so I thought I'd wear this one to get out of the way. Make some storage on the floor. And this is... it's a two-piece. It's obviously Liverpool, because there's the liver bird right there on the truckies. M-size dry fit Nike. Very, very silky, very effective. What is this? AXA Training Academy. It must be pretty recent, with the Nike tick and the swoosh and the liver bird in yellow. This looks pretty lush, because this is silky smooth with a mesh inside. And the pockets are zipped as well. Great. Breathable. It's really, really comfy. Alright, time to get my fancy football thinking hat on. It's actually just a Liverpool fan in Japan hat. Yeah, this is really lush. This is so silky. Which kit is this? I don't remember seeing this. I would have bought this already if I saw this. Bad boy, anyway, of Makali Japan. Vintage. Ooh, it's zipped pockets as well. Good stuff. Okay, here we go. Alrighty, so I've just hit auto pick, and let's see what FPL have decided to chuck in my team provisionally for now. Raya, Wolves. Against Wolves, first game Arsenal. That could be an interesting pick, but I don't think you'd take two 5.5 million quid goalkeepers. Edison's got to go, because you need some Man City players in more prominent positions. Saying that, once again, Gavardio's got to go, because I don't think he'll be outscoring the likes of other Man City players. Kyle Walker's an interesting one. Traditionally, he does quite well, but he seems to be slowing down, especially in European Championships. Calafiori, what a signing, right? Into the Arsenal backline, but he's got an injury record as well. And can he displace Gabriel and Saliba? So I think he's got to go. Gabriel's an interesting one. He must be cheaper than Saliba, right? So I'll keep him there for now. No, they're the same price. So who would you take? I think traditionally you take Saliba over Gabriel, and they might be backed up by 40% of people choosing him compared to 11. Says it already, doesn't it? Ben White. How does Ben White score so often? Is it because he marauds down as a right back, get involved in play, gets bonus points? I think bonus points are treated differently this season. So Darwin Nunez has a chance to get lots of bonus points because he actually takes a lot of shots, even if he doesn't score them. Andy Robertson. Probably first choice for left back, you'd think. Perhaps Joe Gomez inverting sometimes, but you'd imagine that Robertson starts the season at left back. Pretty cheap, pretty effective. How many people picked him? 6. Eberechi Eze as well, Palace's main man. A lot of people have chosen him opening day against Brentford. It'll be an interesting one. Marcus Rashford, very hot and cold, peaks and troughs. Can be a man on fire, can miss a bundle with a banjo, and many, many strings on that banjo, and he'll still miss it. I don't need no Man United opening day man, thank you very much. And Sterling, nah. Not going to work. Brighton Bumo, he gets a lot of points, doesn't he? Against Palace at home. 6.8. See how he starts the season. He could be transferred as well. Hwang Hee-chan is a useful option, but I think that price point is too expensive for Hwang Hee-chan. But interesting thing is he plays up front most of the time, right? So that's one of those Diogo Jota, Hwang Hee-chan type picks, where if he does build up a run of form, he'd be an interesting one to look at. But for now, nah. Ollie Watkins. 52% of people believe in good evenings plans for Ollie Watkins. Who's he against? West Ham United, right? It could be the run of fixtures, why people are so confident in him. Isak as well, 55%. I don't know, he's talented. He scores great goals, but I don't know how consistent of a goal scorer he is, but he does get involved in goal scoring metrics as well. But that's a big show of faith in Isak. But home to Southampton, that might be the reason why. that price point, I'd probably take Watkins, over Isak. I would not take Nicholas Jackson because, sorry, Miss Jackson, he's not clinical. 3.1%. I disagree. Okay, so who do I absolutely want in here? Phil Foden shined in the Man City team because they play him into the right positions. Similarly, Cole Palmer is the man for Chelsea to light it up. But does Cole Palmer really deserve that price? That is a huge price for Cole Palmer, even though he's shown that he's the top scorer of last season from the midfield. Can he repeat it? Will they man mark him? Will they snuff him out of the game? Yet to be seen. Saka is always probably the pick, just because if you look at team performance as well, Arsenal are likely to do better than Chelsea, which means he's going to get more opportunities to be in prominent positions than Chelsea's Palmer. However, saying that, Palmer takes penalties as well, as does Saka, but Arsenal's front line is a little bit toothless with Gabriel Jesus, Trossard, Nketiah, Havertz. Saka really is the man for the occasion to break the deadlock as well, first opening goal. It's hard to say. Son as well, he is the main man for Tottenham, but look, these are the points for last season. Why don't we look at the price differential? That'll probably give us a better indication. Trent Alexander-Arnold, people are expecting him to really play make, but doesn't he get the assist before the assist sometimes as well? So that's a questionable one. Mo Salah looks absolutely red fire hot. He's going to start the season like a man on fire. Salah is in for me. And Kevin De Bruyne might be slightly underpriced considering he is a playmaker of the highest caliber and he scores as well. But there's many different ways to approach this. You've got to look at the opening fixtures as well, right? In the first 1 or 2 fixtures. So Ipswich away isn't the easiest one, but Slot's going to want to make an impression, and we've been looking good in pre-season. So I'd go with Liverpool, probably Newcastle, maybe Spurs. And beyond that, Liverpool, Newcastle, and Spurs again. So Liverpool, Newcastle, and Spurs look to have a kind opening fixture list, as does Man City, to be honest, really, because beyond that, Man City, West Ham, Ipswich, Chelsea, probably expect Man City to win or 3. So with that in mind, let's start with our Liverpool boys and work from there. So one name stands out straight away from the list. It's obviously Robbie Williams. Love Supreme Millennium. No, it's not the Millennium, and that's not Robbie Williams. That's Reece Williams, and he's not going to be at Liverpool anymore. So, yeah. Virgil van Dijk will score a lot of bonus points. He'll score a lot of headers as well. I really want to see Van Dijk back on the score sheet because that is a weapon. If you can get your John Terry, Virgil van Dijk high heading scoring statistics in, it leads yourself well to winning because not every team has a dominant aerial force like that. So provisionally Virgil van Dijk, but that's 2 already from Liverpool roster, which means that the choices become sporadic. And Diogo Jota, will he start? He'll share the minutes with Nunez. So I don't really want to put a Diogo Jota in there. Alicia Diaz is very, very hit and miss as well. So Szoboszlai and Harvey Elliott. Harvey Elliott could be the pick, but it depends on whether slot goes with Szoboszlai or Elliott in the 10th position to start. And Darwin Nunez will score lots and lots of bonus points just for the fact that this season, I believe you get bonus points for shots and other metrics as well. But why is Gakpo in the forward position? He plays left wing. If Gakpo's classed as a forward, then surely Lucio Diaz has got to be classed as forward. If Lucio Diaz is a midfielder, surely Gakpo's got to be midfielder. That does not make sense to me, having Gakpo here in this position. But hey ho. Do I pull the plug for Darwin Nunez? I would have done, just except for the fact that Diogo Jota and Darwin Nunez will share their minutes. There's a hard ask against someone who play week in, week out. And Watado Man Mountain Endo is priced cheap as chips as well, but yeah, he won't score very much, unfortunately, no matter how good he is. But I am fancying that price on Elliott, by the way. That Elliott price is very, very attractive, but I can't take it for now. Let's go to Newcastle. And I think for me, straight away, Anthony Gordon's got to go in. Anthony Gordon, because he's classed as a midfielder. And he's always involved in the goal metrics. He's just so fast. He's blindingly fast. And Eddie Howe does like to set up defence as well. So Pope, pretty comfortable with him in goal. And Dan Burn almost always plays, doesn't he? But I can't actually pick anymore because Isak, Gordon and Pope is there. I'm going to take Isak out and go with Dan Burn because I don't think any other Newcastle player really deserves it, do they? But let's look at Tottenham now. It's always funny how Tottenham are Spurs in this list. So Spursy. I think Vicario actually does pretty well sometimes, but Pedro Porro is a really good outlet for Spurs. An early burst of a Maddison could be worth investing in to give yourself an X factor, but he really fell off last season, didn't he? And Richarlison definitely doesn't get any extra points for that pecking pigeon pose thing, so yeah, he's out. It was very interesting to see Mickey van der Ven priced the same as Jed Spence. I thought they really rated Van der Ven. But I guess if you wanted a Spurs player, it would come down to Pedro Porro or Destiny Udogie, right? But nothing is screaming out to me so far. And I've included Mo Salah, which is super expensive. So in that regard, I think you've got to look at Man City and see if you can squeeze in Haaland and Salah. Because if Salah and Haaland are on fire, you'll be so far behind if you don't include them both. And I know sometimes it's one or the other and the quality play in each position so you can rotate. But I don't know. Can you really leave out Erling Haaland, who scored a hat-trick in pre-season against Chelsea, or Mo Salah with that mean, clean-shaven cut? The shiny, bold ones are uniting together at Liverpool to dominate the league. And I do wonder why so little people choose Bernardo Silva, considering he's always involved in the final third, passes and assists and shoots some crucial goals as well. He's like kind of like the Gundogan now that he's left. But hey ho, let's ignore him for now. And the Gvardiol, who plays at left back, seems to be much more fancied than an Ake or an Akanji, even though they'll probably all play similar minutes to each other. So I wonder why the Gvardiol is listed higher. Is it the fact that he bombs up from the left back position and scores the odd goal? But then again, so does Ake. So I think for now you got to kind of play Haaland in, don't you? Looking at those opening fixtures, which leaves us 16 for 4 positions, so 4-4-4. So I think with a Watkins and Haaland front line, you're pretty stuffed in terms of that. So you go cheapest chips and throw in a utility forward, Chiwome, from a team where you won't hit the limit, or just for players whose name you like Uijo. And Jemison just makes the 4.5 list. But I don't know if any of these players will actually play or even what they look like, and he doesn't even have a picture. So why not? Let's put Uijo in there. Huang Yijo for the Asian brethren. And let's see what we can do with the midfielders. Now Fernandes is always a major threat for Man United, which I'm surprised by not the big uptake for him. And I always love a cheeky inclusion of Jared Bowen. He always gets involved in the metrics for West Ham, but new manager, bounce effect, can they get the most out of him? And Odegaard is always thereabouts as well, right, with the playmaking ability. I think this is severely lacking Arsenal players, but I don't really have the budget to work with. I need to get rid of some big name players. So now we're back to square one. And this is the problem in fantasy football. Do you build a team around Haaland? Do you build a team around Mo Salah? Do you build a strong squad that you can rotate, chop and change? Do you back particular teams? Do you sacrifice the defence and goalkeepers for all-out striking options in attack or goal scorers, etc.? It's hard to tell, isn't it, mates? And Karol Matoma's fallen off a bit, obviously, with the injury notes. Yeah, I don't know if I can justify the inclusion of Watkins and Haaland, right? What is Aston Villa's opening lineup? West Ham, followed by Arsenal, followed by Leicester. That's not the easiest lineup, to be honest. I don't know why so many people are picking Watkins for that free set of fixtures. So Watkins is out. And who else can we put in instead? Solanke. You might be Tottenham bound, right? Isaac, Watkins, Darwin Nunez. I'm tempted to chuck Darwinho back in, you know. Gabriel Jesus, no, not clinical at all. Cunha could be having a good season as well. Xerxes won't even start majority of the time. There's talks of Jadon Sancho as emergency striker, even though Xerxes just joined. Or do you go one below to the next tier, like your Wisa and your Awani for the consistent points getting, including João Pedro? I actually do like João Pedro. I rate João Pedro a lot. What is Brighton's fixture list like? Everton, okay, some points there. Man United, some points there. Arsenal, probably no points. Brighton, Ipswich, okay, but João Pedro is not coming in. What a difficult choice. Haaland, Uijo, front line. Forsake the... You got to do it. I actually usually do that. Let's forsake them. It was a toss-up between Chiwome and Uijo. Chiwome, baby. Chiwome's in. And now that looks more tasty. 16 million. Haaland, lone striker. Why not? Now we can chuck in a more luxury player in the midfield. It's going to be the cold Cole Palmer or the Odegaard. But that price, they're really expecting Cole Palmer to light things up and do it for Chelsea, right? Do Chelsea have an opening fixture list to dream of? Man City, that is not an opening fixture list to dream of. Man City at home, if they win that, that'd be nice. Wolves, Crystal Palace, Bournemouth. That lineup's not so bad actually after Man City, but that's when you rotate Palmer in, cold Palmer. So I think all in all, I think you gotta go with an Arsenal, United, or United midfielder. So I'm going to take Bukayo Saka because he always gets in shooting positions, right? Which gives me a very, very strong 4 there. Eberechi Eze will be the main man for Palace. Adam Wharton will allow him to roam, which means I'm going to need a relatively cheap defender in the rotation. I'm going to look at total points, and a low priced, high scoring one is Joachim Anderson. Who'll put our faith in again, because Palace are just one of those teams who can do anyone on one day. And that leaves me not enough for a midfielder, so we've got to sacrifice one of the players, and here we go around again. Ay. Come on, FPL gods. I've already done enough with Wejo and Chiwome up front. What more do you want from me? And no matter how much you beg, I'm not going to include Michaelenko. But I thought that was Sensei, but it's not a Senese. Dunk and Konsa, Ezri Konsa, Villa, one of those teams as well. So difficult, isn't it? 4.5, got to sacrifice someone. Robbo, will he be getting this assist in an Arna slot system? I don't know if he'll be pushed at advanced, just because the wingers will be getting the assist and he won't be overlapping so much. So Robbo, I'm sorry, my man. Robbo is replaced by Konsa to get $2, £2 back. Gives me free for midfielder. Can you fit in a midfielder for free? No, the cheapest is 4.5. And we need another name. Chiquinho. There we go. Kundu. Well, Wolves has the best names in this Fantasy Football League. Chiwome, Kundo, Chiquinho and Hodge. It's a dream quartet right there. And do you remember when so much was made about Boubakary Soumare and Ibrahim Sangare? These players, physical specimens, destroyers who are very, very limited on the ball. I've got to go with my instincts for now. And Chiquinho, Francisco Jorge Tomas Oliveira, aka Chiquinho. Why is it shortened to Chiquinho? Is that guy that was shortened to Fred, right? Up front. Which gives us minus 1.5, so cutting the costs somewhere again. Now I'm just looking briefly at Virgil van Dijk. Will he score enough to justify that 6 price tag? I think Slot Ball is quite defensively solid. Do I need Pope and Raya in the rotation there? Fairly solid, both home. I can't catch Chiwome, Uijo or Chiquinho because they're just squad fillers. Is that a good tactic? Do you play with squad fillers, or do you go just all out quality in all positions, rotating, hope for points, or just go your first initial front line and hope they can do it even in hard away fixtures? Haaland and Salah really take up a lot of money, don't they? Now, sometimes I would cut Mo Salah out of this just for the fact that he's been a bit sporadic in his form. But he always starts the season on fire. He looks really up for it. He looks happy in the setup. His shooting is back on. His passing is silk. And he hasn't really got right wing challenges in this particular Liverpool squad. So I'm tempted to keep them in for now. I may regret it later, which means the cut has to come to Gordon or Eze. Gordon or Eze or Verhil. It's a tough one, isn't it? Tough choice. Now, for the fact that Anthony Gordon, I think, will be one of their main players in the attacking offensive transition and involved in all of the good things that Newcastle do alongside Isaac, then Eze is going to be cut. And I'm going to replace him with a 5.5 max player. And it's not going to be Andres Pereira, but Souček always pops up now and again, but he's like the budget Fellaini. And Ross Barkley showed his good form for Luton, right? But now at Villa, it's a hard one. Who can you put in? Harvey Elliott. I cut Robertson. I can't pick any other Liverpool player if I go with this. But I'm backing my boy. I made a video on him today. Harvey Elliott. What the? Okay. There's he gone. Bye-bye. Harvey Elliott. My faith in the man, MC main character Harvey Elliott. He is in. It's almost destiny. It's almost fate. Elliott makes the cut. He is a cut above. Cream and mustard, the cream of the crop.
The cream of the crop!
Mustard seeds and roast beef, they just go together. Harvey Elliott is the Wagyu Miyazaki's finest and divinest. And he makes the cut today, but I might change it again next week. Who knows? Okay, hope you guys enjoyed the content. Smash a like on the video. It really helps get the videos seen. I love my fantasy football. Remember, enter the competition. I'll put the code again in the description below. Drop a comment. What's your team looking like? Is it shaping up well? What's the hardest decisions? What do you think of this particular team? Do you rate it? Obviously, first choice probably going to be Raya, Saliba, Bahil. Actually, Burnt Anderson Konsa can whip up the points, right? Let's play Chiquinho, Chihuahua, Uijo. Haaland on the bench. Till next time, Miyazaki man. Ichiban means the best. Subscribe if you haven't already. Lots of quality content coming up. Big giveaway at the end of the season. Until next time, Janet means ciao.